All right. My favorite time. What he told me. 6:30 a.m. when I get to snuggle with my kids before they're fully awake. Yes. I did enjoy setting the time correctly, but I also enjoy following directions. Oh, how accurate. You know, can I just say, regardless of the accuracy of the clock, I'm having a great time adjusting these settings. I feel like I'm learning more about you and how you like things to be set. It's good to collect data. I wish we had more sliders, but I've gone through all the... Really, kid? But we've gone through all the sliders I have. All right, I'll put one on in a little bit, kiddo. Bring me a wet washcloth.
This is a bucket.
Dear
God.
There's more.
No. Perhaps I can invent some new sliders to gather new data on you. Shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, let me whip up a couple new ones up. Should be ready by the next time you boot up the game. All right. Should I just reboot the game now and get my sliders? All right. Stanley Parable, you ready? Dear God. No. This is a story about a man named Stanley. But hey, that's just a theory.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Hey,
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
This is a bucket.
As Stanley lifted his bucket, he felt a connection to all buckets everywhere. This adventure, he decided, was for all of them.
Ooh. I'm going on an adventure for all buckets, left or right? Left? Listen to the narrator.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
So you're right, my right, your left.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
Gotta go downstairs and tell me where to go next.
Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this...
Is a bucket.
Dear God.
There's more.
No.
This is a bucket.
Dear God.
There's more.
No.
Okay, this is day number 295. Take
This
number...
is a bucket.
Jeez, child.
There's more.
I've lost track.
Uh-huh.
Nothing feels real anymore.
Oh, why not?
I study this bucket. The less sense
Child.
anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up.
Yeah? Uh-huh.
No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling.
Exactly.
And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense.
Okay, this
There's
is a bucket.
no explanation for it.
What the dog doing?
I still
That
haven't
is
figured
a
out
tape
why
recorder.
I see the world
Tape
so
recorder.
differently when this bucket is in my arms.
Because it's a bucket.
Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure?
This is a bucket.
Dear
God.
There's more.
Monetize it.
No.
It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for
Wrong
even
game.
just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket.
But it's
But I
my
have to be
bucket.
careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back.
Wrong game.
Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory.
Thanks for watching. Ugh. Oh, what happens if I go there without the bucket?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had
We're
simply
gonna go
missed
back
a
to that
memo.
one, and then after that, you get to tell me where to go again, kiddo. So, prep yourself. Figure out where you
When
want me to
Stanley
go.
came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the
We'll
meeting
grab the
room.
bucket
and
next
Stanley
time,
knew
I
it perfectly
promise.
well.
That's what you
Perhaps he
want.
wanted to stop by the employee lounge first,
But
just
I think
to
I've
admire
done
it.
the ending I just got once
Wow.
already.
Yes,
This
this room. But
is a
eager to
bucket.
get back to
Dear
business,
God,
Stanley took
there's
the
more.
first open door on
No.
his left.
No bucket. No bucket. Sorry, kiddo. No bucket.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he
Oh,
wasn't 5
give me a
years
second.
ago. Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. Was so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. Was so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. Was so far off the beaten path. You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault. But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
This is a bucket.
Dear God,
There's more.
no.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching.
What new mysteries lay in store for our bucket-loving heroes today? Let's find out. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching.
What the dog doing?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always.
If I was muted, then how did you know I said the frickin' word that's banned?
The two
But
of them were
hey,
inseparable.
that's just a
At this
theory.
point, Stanley was so
A
absorbed in the
game
tender
theory.
spiritual
Thanks
connection he
for
shared with the
watching.
bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
The right numbers, just have them in the wrong order.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Oh, yeah.
Was it that the bucket knew all along?
Absolutely.
Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching.
That is just a theory.
This is a bucket.
Dear
The
God.
elevator was downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep
the
himself
dog doing?
together, if not for
It's
the
not
bucket.
a dog.
Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring
It's a
that
word
in
I
this
can't
darkest
say.
moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley.
Awesome.
Everything will be fine.
Nope.
Is two.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Left or right? Huh? Left or right, kiddo? Yes. Yes, that was Flowey. Left or right? Flowey equals right. What equals left?
The lights
Oh,
rose
gotcha.
on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this.
Oh,
and it
it's
very nearly
okay.
burst into tears
It's
as
okay,
Stanley
buddy.
cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
You're my friend now.
Is a bucket.
Dear God.
There's more.
Was
No.
the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raise
To be
furiously
or not to be.
Stanley's
Is a bucket.
mind.
Dear God.
There's more.
No.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the
Hey,
entire
that's what I
world.
said, friend.
At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
You are correct, Chop Chop, even though there's only one thing in that entire freaking phrase that I could
But
say.
here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the
two.
bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends.
Oh, all done. Well, do we turn it on or off? Will it shut down or turn it on? I saw that one,
When at last
haha.
they came to the source of the room's power,
Off
Stanley and the bucket
or
knew
on?
it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button
This
to turn
one's fun.
on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself?
Is a bucket.
Dear
The bucket
God.
had
There's
like
more.
this.
No.
Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds.
Silly birds.
Silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
Oh, silly birds.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility
Owls!
at all. It was a
Look
facility
at
for
how
monitoring
cute they
and
are.
surveilling silly birds all over the world. The
Look at how
mind controls
cute.
were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands.
Pretty bird.
The one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery.
Baby birds trying to
Stanley
eat
and
his
the bucket
mama.
never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one
Ooh,
was surely the
Pretty.
best. And Stanley was happy.
Hummingbirds. Are you just adding Chica to the list of birds?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Do I take it? Do I take the friend?
This is a bucket.
Dear
This
God.
said
There's
himself,
more.
This is a bucket. And indeed it was.
Dear God.
Stanley pressed the bucket upon every little thing in the office. Nothing responded to the bucket's touch, but it did little to discourage Stanley's belief in the magic of the bucket.
Dog mode! Taco Bell. Taco Bell. My bucket now barks. It says it's an ending.
Stanley clutched the bucket
Left
tightly
or
to
right?
his chest and entered the door on his left.
Are you back from the ad? Left or right? Right this time? Okay.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
My bucket now barks.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself.
is
Yes,
a
perhaps
bucket.
it truly was.
Dear
How
God.
There's
insightful
more.
the bucket
No.
turned out to be.
What?
Truly, being here with the bucket was
Is
a grand
it
adventure.
about
Stanley reflected on all
this
they'd been
place?
through
I
together.
don't know.
First,
But
walking through
hey,
the door on the
that's
right,
just
then
a
walking to the
theory.
lounge,
A
then arriving at the
game
lounge. What a
theory.
thrilling
A
journey
lounge
the bucket
theory.
had inspired.
The lounge theory? Oh. Sorry. Game theory.
Perhaps this was where the bucket
You're
felt
right.
most truly at home. Here in the employee lounge. Perhaps it's
Hey,
the only place
that's
a bucket
just
can
a
even feel at
theory.
home.
A game theory.
Okay.
Thanks for watching.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
This is a bucket.
Stanley decided to just give the bucket
There's more.
absolutely as much time as it needed to be in the lounge. Clearly, the bucket and the employee lounge shared a special connection.
Yep. Da 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 da. Itchy wrist. I don't know why. I just do. Da da da. You gonna say anything else, narrator? Can't read those. I cannot get any coffee.
This is a bucket.
Dear God.
There's more.
No. My bucket is barking
But hey,
at the
that's
picture.
just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching.
Okay. Yeesh. Alright, anyways.
But finally, the bucket was done being in the lounge, and they took the first open door on their left to get back to business.
Good. I don't need any more than I already have. Left or right? Left or right? Which one do you want, kiddo? Rude? What does bonk stand for? We already had a left and a right. I have to scroll up and remember what Flowey was. Flowey is right. Okay. Okay.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo
This
lift.
is a bucket.
Dear God.
There's more.
No. Okay. So, do I want to go all the way up or do I want to jump down? Penalty for misuse of cargo lift, $1,000. Penalty for jumping off the cargo lift, $5,000.
Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how
He's a
this bucket
bucket.
was speaking to him. It should have
There's
alarmed
more.
him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Wrong game. Okay.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says,
Oh.
no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay?
Wrong
Unless-
game.
What if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly.
Let me
So
in.
much of the impact of the story
Open
is
the door.
dependent on your understanding of what
Open the
is
door.
and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Spooky dark hallway. What do you think about the spooky dark hallway? I don't think I have any other place to go, so I guess we're gonna go. Spooky dark hallway. The end is never the end. Is never the end. Is never the end.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios,
Okay.
and you'll tell me whether or not the
You
thing
gotta
I'm
tell
showing
me what
you is
is a bucket and what is
Simple
not a
enough,
bucket,
right?
okay?
This should tell us
What the
everything
dog
we'll ever
doing?
need to know about what is or is not a bucket.
I
Okay,
can't even
let's
say
begin.
the word.
Item
Okay.
1. Is this a bucket?
Oh, well, thank you, bro. Yes or no? Getting annoyed by all the sounders? What do we think? Yes or no? 60-second might be better. So I've only got one person chatting. Or the kid will just have to come up here. What do we think, chat? Is this a bucket? I mean, is this a friend? Not a friend? Not a friend.
Correct.
Oh,
It is a hologram of a bucket, not an
good
actual
job,
bucket.
Chop Chop. Okay.
Item 2.
Oh,
Is this a bucket?
is this a friend? Yes or no? What do we think? There's a lot of chairs in here. I can't go look at anything. Rude. Rude. What do we think, yes or no? No? No, that's not a friend? It looks like a friend. Alright.
Correct.
No!
It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Wouldn't a... Just a friend made out of different material. Still a friend.
Item 3.
This one must be
Is
a
this
friend.
a bucket?
Right? This one's gotta be a friend. Yeah?
Correct. This is a bucket.
Oh.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
Big friend? Noisy friend. Big noisy friend? What are we thinking? Is this a big noisy friend? That's a big noisy friend? Oh,
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor.
Big
It's an
noisy
enormous
friend.
machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one.
Okay. I still think that's a friend.
Is this a bucket?
Huh. That's a friend. That's a friend. For sure.
Correct.
See?
This is a
I
bucket.
told you it was a friend. Ooh.
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
I don't know. That one doesn't look very friend-shaped. Is this a friend? It might be a friend. No, after looking at it a little more, yeah, I think it is a friend.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
It is and isn't a friend? I'm confused.
Item.
I am
Wait, hold on.
confusion.
I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
Friend? Is this a friend? Yeah? Huh. Friend. My bucket barks.
Okay, you
my
and I
friend
both
barks.
know there isn't anything here. And I don't
Friend!
appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something, and therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket?
Is nothing a friend? What do we think? Is nothing a friend? Yes? Okay.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective.
Have
What
you?
is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago,
We're
I could
all
answer these questions
friends.
with confidence.
Everybody
Yet now I'm
and
somewhat
everything
adrift.
is a friend.
Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
Yes.
Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that.
My bucket.
I'm sorry. But I'm
My
going
bucket.
to erase
No!
all buckets from the game entirely.
Mine. This is my friend.
This
Here we go.
is a bucket.
Dear God.
There's more.
No.
No!
What happened?
Give me my friends
Is
back.
everything gone? Why did everything
Oh.
disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket?
I told
Every
you.
single thing in the game was a bucket.
Yes.
Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after
You're not a
all.
friend?
And you, Stanley, you're still here.
No,
You're
I'm
not a
most
bucket
certainly
either.
a friend.
Oh, this is wonderful news. We're
Aw.
not buckets.
I'm not a friend.
Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game.
Bring the bucket
So,
back.
tell you what, I'll reset everything.
Yes.
And we'll put back all of the buckets, okay?
This
And we'll know
is a
that it's
bucket.
all
Dear
a bucket. But
God.
if you run into
There's more.
anyone else,
No.
don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Buckets.